Hey everybody, this is Trucker Joe here. Just wanted to go over my 2-month review on PNS Transport. I've been here for about 2 months now, doing mainly the East Coast, Northeast region, but they had me as far out west as Ohio, Nebraska, Missouri. Right now I'm in Texas, so I go pretty much anywhere. But I just want to go over the good, the bad with this company thus far, maybe areas of improvement. It's kind of hard because right now everybody's hurting with freight and rates, and so everybody's taking a plumbing no matter where you are. It seems like no matter what trucker I talk to out here, you know, just bad times right now. Some people are calling this a recession before the actual official word from the government says it's a recession. So I don't know, so let's get to it. I wrote some notes down so I didn't forget much of anything. The good thing about this, when I called them up, I filled an application online. I called them up, and they said that they reviewed their application. They said that I met all their requirements, and that I can come on immediately, which was awesome. I didn't have to wait. Some companies make you wait or whatever, or they take forever getting whatever information that they need to get back, like your driving abstract or this, that, and the other. With PNS, it was pretty quick, which was good, you know. So that was a good thing. Funny story, I went to the airport on the day that I was supposed to fly out, and then a brutal storm came in at Newark Airport in Jersey, and all the flights were canceled. And they were canceled, I was supposed to leave like earlier in the morning, and they were canceled for like the whole entire day. And eventually it got to the point where I missed my cutoff because I had to hitch another flight. I think it was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then to Birmingham, Alabama. That's where their office is. And I missed that. And because I was so late, I missed my connecting flight. And there were no other connecting flights, even if the plane did take off then. But they said, I called them up. It was like a Sunday, you know. I called them up, and they said, listen, just stay there, see what happens, this, that, and the other. And then the pilot that was supposed to be flying us to Charlotte in order to make the connecting flight, which there wasn't any, I was thinking about driving to Birmingham. Apparently pilots can only be on the clock for so many hours or they can't fly. So it got to a point where the pilots that were flying our plane were out of time, just like truckers. You know, once you're out of time, you can't drive no more, right? So apparently it's the same thing with pilots, and you know, they couldn't fly anymore. So now, not only was our plane delayed so much, they refused to cancel it, but it was delayed that our pilots couldn't fly us anymore, and then they were trying to scrounge around to find other pilots around the area to go ahead and take us. But by that point in time, it was so late, and it was like well into the night and Sunday. But I called them up, PNS, and I explained to my recruiter. He called some people in the office about what was going on, some suggestions that they were making, this, that, and the other. And when it came down to it, they said, listen, it's gonna be, there's no direct flights from where you're at, there's no more connecting flights, and you're gonna miss Monday no matter what, you know, even if because they were thinking about giving me a rent-a-car, but it would take me like mad hours just to get down there because I live in Jersey. So that was a good chunk of miles. So they said, listen, why don't we just do the next one, the you know, sign up for the next week. So I said, all right, you know what I'm gonna do. But the cool thing about that is that they went ahead and they ordered me an Uber, and an Uber drove me home. So that was cool. I didn't have to spend on an Uber. So they did the right thing, and I think they, you know, when people do the right thing, I do think that should be recognized, you know, as well as the bad things. But you always hear about people talking about bad things. Not a lot of people talk about the good things, and I do want you know, to say the good things when good things do happen. So I went to orientation the following week. My flight was not delayed. Storm passed. And I went ahead and got there, and in Birmingham at their facility, and you know, it's a regular, you know, facility. You know, they had the building, you walk in, it was pretty much classes throughout the day, telling you about PNS, you know, the do's, the don'ts, you know, how they operate, everything, how the pay works. On day one, it was kind of funny because they went ahead and did a physical, like you know, they wanted to make sure you could, they had like rolled up tarps, and they were in the middle of the room, and they were like, okay, pick it up, put it down. Okay, pick it up. Then the other one, which was like a little bit heavier, put it down. There was like 3 of them in a row that you had to pick up and then put back down, which, you know. And then they had a grip test, which I found something interesting about myself. Apparently, I'm a right-handed individual, but my left hand, for whatever reason, is stronger. Who knew? Weird thing. Even the lady was like, yeah, that's kind of uncommon. Usually your dominant hand is stronger, but I don't know. Not for me, I guess. Then they did like a balance thing. There was a couple things. They do take a urinalysis, so no smoky. None of this stuff, none of any other stuff, because I do check for that. This is a legit trucking company. It's not like one of those mom and pop shops that, you know, try to like curtail the law, or, you know, I worked at this one shady place that, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So, good thing I'm not there anymore. I'm here. So, don't do anything bad, and you're pretty much good with this place. The ironic part that struck me as surprising, at least, was after the orientation, after you fill out all your paperwork, after you go through all the classes, after you talk to all the people you need to talk to and get settled in. It was that Thursday, because it's like a week long. So Monday through Wednesday, it's all the classes you learn. You have to, you know, if you have any questions, now's the time about pay, this, that, and the other, get your bank account set up, you know, get signed up on the app, whatever. And then on Thursday, they were like, listen, today you guys are going to go out there. They give us a packet, and it had all our rig information. They're like, okay, these are the rigs that are now assigned to you. So you go out there, and you know, start getting your rig set up. Now, I do flatbed, so I had to go get all my equipment, chains, binders, straps, a slew of different other things. So when I got there and I looked at the number, okay, my number is this. So then I go down the line of rigs, and I thought, you know, I went down the used rig line. They had like a new rigs, and then behind that they had like older rigs. And I looked at the older rigs first, because I thought, because I'm new to the company, to them, like I've been trucking for 3 years prior to that, but like since I'm new to them, that they would, you know, give the newer rigs, the brand new ones, to their existing employees. Maybe they do, but when I went there were some older ones, like, you know, a couple years old or whatnot, and none of them were mine. And sure enough, my number was right there in the new rig line. So I got one of the brand new 2024 Freightliner Cascadias, which was awesome. Brand new rig. I think it had like 19 miles on it. Like, come on now, you can't get any better than that, right? You know, a lot of people are gonna say, oh, well, you know, it's a Freightliner, this, that, and that. I'm like, look, last company I was with, I had an International, and even though I had the Cummins motor in it, which was strong, never had a problem with the Cummins, everything else about that rig just fell apart. I mean, it was just disintegrating before your very eyes, which stinks when you're living in this vehicle that does not work, operate, everything. You know, there was stuff wrong with the transmission, the DEF system, the vents. I mean, you name it. It was like it was made of paper, and it was always raining outside, and it was just collapsing right before my eyes. So, never liked the International. I must say, after 2 months of driving in this Freightliner, I never had a problem. You know, not a problem at all. Everything is new. Everything is, you know, everything works. You know, there's no beeping things. It has all those safety features. So, like, if someone's coming up in front of me and decides to slam on their brake, the engine brakes in this. In my old International, the ABS was engaged. So in order for that one to stop abruptly, the ABS would engage and would like slam on the brakes, and you'd be like jolting to a stop. You know, even if you applied the brake yourself, it wouldn't recognize it until you were like almost dead stop. So, and I was always afraid of that because of my freight. You know, like like with all that jolting, because it jolts pretty harshly, you know, maybe my straps will start to get loose while that jolting, and I might have a load shift. I hated that, and four-wheelers do that like all the time. So when I got this rig, it's mainly the engine like retards, it seems like. I never had, I don't really drive close to anybody to begin with, but when the engine retards, it's pretty good. It slows it down like a lot. Like this engine retardation is really good on this 2024 Freightliner Cascadia. I love this rig. It's, maybe I'll give a tour next video or whatever. There's in my old International, I only had this little cooler that I would put my stuff in, you know. It was just to refrigerate my food for the week. But now the way that the back end is set up, it's like now I have enough space for a 45-inch fridge, you know, full freezer and full fridge, which is amazing right now. You know, now I can keep stuff frozen in it, and I have ice. I never had ice before. Now I have ice in case, you know, I open up my soda, you know, and I forgot to put it in the fridge. Well, now you just put it in a cup and get some ice and nice cold soda. So that was good. This rig, I must say, compared to the one I had, the International, far superior. I love it. I love it. And plus I got a blue one. You know, I thought, you know, P&S had white rigs, but now I guess they're changing colors or whatnot. I mean, I've seen other ones. You never really notice other trucking companies too much. But now that I'm with P&S, I notice every P&S rig now, and there's actually a bunch of colors. But the new Freightliner that I got is blue, a nice blue, which is, I think, far superior than the color white one. And my old International was a white one too, so there you go. Freight right here, I like it, 27%. It's more than my previous company. Previous company, they start you off at like 25. Here is 27. People are asking me, oh, so you getting a raise? I'm like, wait a second. You know, if their contracts are less than my old company, then I might actually be getting less. More of the cut, but maybe they're less. But what I'm finding is their contracts are a lot better than my old company. You know, like I could work 4 days. Well, I could do 4 loads in a week, and compared to my other company where I could do 5, and I'm making about the same amount of money. So I think the rates are better. I mean, I don't know like the inside, you know, behind the scenes intricacy between the paperwork and the contracts between the two companies, but just for my own little personal experience, they're about the same. 4 loads here is equivalent to about 5 loads in my previous. So I'm doing, you know, less loads per week, yeah, which kind of stinks, but we'll get into that in a minute. But at the same time, it's like I'm making about the same, so I'm not too worried about it yet, you know. It's just the way the economy is right now, I guess. Let's see. So far they haven't given me anything I can't handle. They say, hey, listen, you know, if you feel like it's unsafe here, don't do it. Call us, we'll figure something else out, let us know. They're pretty cool like that. They're like, they'll call me up and be like, okay, do you want this load or that load, or you want to end up in a certain spot, or, you know, they do communicate with me sometimes about different loads. You know, sometimes it's just like, well, this is the only load we have coming out of there, and if you don't accept it, that's fine, but we have no idea when the next load is going to come out of here, this area. So, you know, you could take it now or wait, and they give you options, they give you choices, you know. And the way things are going right now with the economy, it's kind of like, you kind of just have to muscle through some of the stuff, you know, whatever decisions there are. Good thing about this company, well, I don't want to say it's good or bad, but I am definitely seeing more of the country, because of my other company, like the furthest out west I went was like Michigan, and I think maybe Virginia, like Western Virginia. Here, if you're willing to, you can go almost anywhere. You know, the other company was kind of like, they were hard pressed to get you home. This company, P&S, you know, they give you options. They're like, listen, you want to stay out? Because if you stay out, we have better paying loads that are going nowhere's where you're home. So, but if you do want to go home, we'll figure out something to get you home for the weekend. You know, they always ask you, they always give you options, which is what I like. You know, I like to have options about what I'm doing. I don't feel like, you know, tethered. You know, yeah, of course I want to go home on the weekends, but at the same time, if I have like a really good load going, I don't know, wherever, and it's the opposite direction of home, at least they ask me, you know, and then I can either make a decision, you know. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, no. And other times it'd be like, hey, I'll call up my wife and be like, hey, look, this is what they have for me. This is what they're asking for. Yay or nay? Do we have anything planned this weekend, or any dates that that are important, like a birthday or whatever? Because I can't remember, family stuff like that too well sometimes. And then, my wife will be like, no, we're good. Or, oh man, we were supposed to, go to this family member's house, remember? And I'll be like, oh yeah, okay. So then I'll, and I give them my answer. They're never upset about it, no matter what I choose, so can't complain. I've never had a problem with my pay. I know a lot of companies out there's horror stories, but not this one. At least not this one for me so far. They've always paid me what I was supposed to be getting paid. They paid me my the bonus. Yeah, I mean, so far my experience here is a positive one. So I can't really complain on those things. However, with every company, there is some bad things, right? No company's perfect, right? So I got two bad things here. The wait times. So when I'm done dropping off a load, a lot of times it takes forever, to get my next load, to get reloaded. That kind of stinks, I get it, it's the economy, and there's nothing really out there. I know all the factories and everything that we have contracts for are producing less. So now I think they're going, this is just speculation, I think they're going outside of the contracts now, when they have all these other rigs, like, they're doing the load board. But all the other contract companies that have contracts with certain plants and they're not producing as much, they're all doing it too. So now the load boards are getting flooded with now all these flatbedders now that can do this, which I get it, it's driving rates down, unfortunately, but there's no really other place to go. Either do your contract or you go to the load boards, and a lot of people can't do these low prices. Left and right I hear truck companies go down. 45 rig fleet, 300 rig fleet. I mean, Yellow went down, like a month or two ago or something like that. Like, and they were huge. They were like one of the biggest truck companies in America, like top 4 or 5 or something. I think I read somewhere. So, I mean, that does stink. But so I understand why there's wait times. I think everybody's experiencing longer wait times to find out, what comes out of certain areas, because you can't choose whatever comes up. It has to make sense. The pay has to be there, mileage has to be there, to where you can turn a profit. So it's not like, oh, there's one, we'll take it, and then you're running out of loss. That's not how you stay in business. The good thing about being in a bigger company, like this company owns like many different other companies, trucking companies like Melton and Blair and a bunch of others, I forget half of them. But overall, it's because it is big. They have options between different. They have a lot of different contracts with a lot of different plants, which is good for, especially when things are down. So like wherever you end up, chances are there's like some place near there, or kind of near there, even if you have deadhead some, that'll have something coming out of there. And if it's slow, well, I mean, everyone's experiencing that. I mean, I don't think it's particularly a P&S problem. I think it's just a trucking industry problem. I heard everybody is getting hit with longer wait times, no matter who I talk with. So it's not just unique to P&S, it's just overall market is the way it is. And the last one is, yes, so I've been staying out more than I ever have before, because of the money. I mean, let's face it, yeah, I am making about the same that I was over there at my other company, at this one. But with inflation and prices just skyrocketing, and gas, fuel, I have a family to support. Food prices are like through the roof. It's insane what like the prices of things, milk, eggs, just simple things, are like bread even, it went up like a tremendous amount, and it's just ridiculous. So even though I'm making the same, because of inflation, the buying power of what I was making at the other company isn't as much because of inflation and everything like that. Now I feel like I am forced, well, not forced, but now I feel obligated to stay out. If I can, and if there's something going on at home, and if it's okay with my wife, then the answer is definitely yes, because of it. But that's not really a PNS problem. That's just the way things are. Everything else that they have no control over, like they don't have the control over the inflation. Inflation, it is what it is. Our government did that. Here it is. We're all just gonna have to suck it up, right? But I mean, other than that, everything else with this company overall, it's definitely a positive so far. I've been here for about 2 months. You know, the only thing that agitates me, really, at the bare bones of it, you know, are the wait times. You know, sometimes it'll be like 6 hours. One time I used up almost a whole day. But I mean, but I was also in Maine, the middle of Maine, so not much. They have some lumber stuff come out of there, but not really too much of anything. Where I was, it was in the middle of nowhere, and it took them a while to find something for me. That was like the longest wait I had, but they were able to find something eventually, you know, later on in the day, and then I started trucking out of there. Because it wasn't in the state that they found something for me. It was in New Hampshire. But yeah, I mean, if PNS, if you are a trucker and are thinking about a trucking company that's decent, I mean, definitely consider PNS. I haven't had a problem here, and there haven't really been any problems that came up. So far, so good. You know, like, you know, I call them, they call me, you know, there's respect. Then we had an argument, they're not nasty, they don't name call, they don't have attitudes, which is nice when you call. I had a blown tire once, and unfortunately the phone system was down, so trying to get a hold of somebody, when the phone system is down and because it's all connected to like the main branch in Birmingham, that was interesting. So I had to go up on the internet and find a number, and they're all the same number on the internet, with no matter where they are in the different states. So that was fun, trying to get a tire change when their phones were down on a Friday late afternoon. Fun times. But that wasn't, you know, stuff happens, and it wasn't necessarily their actual fault. You know, it was only down for a couple hours. Of course, that's when my tire happened, within those couple hours. Of course, my luck. But you know, it was eventually resolved and changed, you know, and they checked up on me, everything good, and I told them, yeah, because then finally, I guess all their messages finally went through all at once. They were like, oh, are you alright? Did you actually get help? It's like, yeah, I figured out a way to get help, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, PNS is definitely on your mind. Definitely check them out, you know, call a recruiter, check them out on the websites or whatnot, email them, ask questions, right? List questions all down on paper and just ask. You know, and ask a couple different places too. You know, and then you can compare to see which one is the right one for you. Just personally, right now, I love it. They never really given me a problem with anything, so everything is fine. It's great. Give it about maybe like a 8.5 out of 10. And the 1.5%, most of it isn't really in their control, like the wait times and stuff, and me having to stay out because of inflation. But PNS is definitely a good company so far. Peace.